everything about the job and the place is just a little weird, you know. You know that there are cameras and everything. Yeah, I didn't make my bed, but that hole is just exactly pointing to my bed. It's like, why the hell is that? There's also a sheep in the bedroom. It's exactly with the eyes pointing to the toilet. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, I have an idea for a little book again, but it will be first a sketch. The idea I have is not a manga drawing. I don't have anything with that. And yeah, that's other people. Ooh, it's not me. Okay. Yeah, so the idea was something like Katie likes to organize. Today she is organizing her bookshelf. And then on this page there's something with maybe it becomes a pop-up book, I don't know yet. Really depends. I have already an idea that Katie, let's say this is Katie organizing her bookshelf. Let's say here I made a pop-up book before, so I know how it works. Yeah, the camera turned off automatically. I think it's something silly going on again, but never mind. I make it no matter what. Create this stuff. So if there's a cut here and a cut there, I just need another piece of paper. Let's see. Yeah, you cannot imagine, like, it's everything is a big challenge in life. Nothing really works, but in the end I make it work. So that's what we're going to do right now as well. Yeah, I need to buy a selfie stick again. That's much better because then I can have one hand free to cut this. So I have to turn off the camera anyway, so that doesn't make a difference. So yeah, and what I do is I cut this, I make a new bookshelf on this paper. I cut it out. I make here a stroke and then I can pull it, and that one will be in color. So she's organizing the bookshelf and it's becoming another color. Wait a second, is that even possible? I have to think about it. It is possible. I think it has to be the other way around. Let's see, because this of course has to... how am I going to do that? Yeah, maybe it becomes a total, like I think on this paper, on the that is behind it, I'm going to let's see, make a whole new bookshelf. So everything like this is all being cut out, and then I make here a new bookshelf, and it's going to be up and down, like with colors. That's what I do for the first page. Then let's just do this on the, on the go. I don't like thinking too much, too long about it, because then I have already other ideas. If I turn off this camera, I already get a lot of other ideas, and then I'm distracted again because there's so many ideas in my head. And that is not because I have ADHD. I don't have that. It's more that I don't have enough time. So once I have time, like everything's coming up at once. So that is maybe also, you know, maybe it's helpful to tell this. Maybe other people have this as well. So the next step, so she's organizing her bookshelf. Then maybe another person Barry is likes to have overview, or yeah, overview. Today he is organizing, or no, he is creating maybe a system or structure or something. Creating let's see, a system. Or maybe he's building something. Today he is building. Maybe I can do a pop-up with that he is building something like furniture or something like that. So maybe he's building furniture. Let's say furniture. Then I think here building furniture and painting it. Furniture for his. Oh no, maybe he built furniture to have overview on his collection, some kind of collection, maybe maybe awards. No, that doesn't have color. Something with color. Today he has overview on his, I don't know, something with he collecting, something with dolls or something, or toys, toy collection. Okay. On his toy collection. So it's more about the shapes. It's not anymore about the color, but it's more about the shapes. But maybe he is organizing it on color. Or maybe this is the kind of toy that you have to organize by color. Yeah, the Rubik's Cube, right? This Rubik's Cube collection. And let's see. Furniture to have overview on this Rubik's Cube collection. He organizes it on color. Yeah, I don't know, or kleur in Dutch. So then he's organizing that. So he already has the furniture. Maybe there's a closet as well, or and there he has, maybe that's a glass, made of glass. Oh yeah, then this one needs to, you know, those glass things, you know, where you can put your things in and then you can look through the glass. Makes it also easier for a pop-up, I think. So maybe the same idea, maybe keep it simple. This is maybe the same idea as this, so the whole closet is being like this part and this, no, and I would do the same. I have to think in, yeah, it's not in here, so this drawing is gone, so I cut it out, and then behind that there is, so on the next page there is the drawing, and here it's a piece of paper that's going up and down, and then with the toys in it. Then I actually need to fold a new paper, because the story is going to be a little longer. So this is how, I think I'm going to do this more often because it goes faster. I mean, right now I'm like 10 minutes or so working on this, and I already have an idea on what to do. And because of the camera, I also start focusing more on this project because I also wanted to make some music. That's also what I need to do, but I only have today off and then one day in this week off again. So then I can make other things. But yeah, if people are going to interrupt me in between, I don't have that day anymore, you know. So I really have to, yeah, that's why it doesn't really help to see a lot of people at the moment. But it's already for a long time like that. I mean, that's the life of an artist and musician, I think. I guess if you like to create all the time, it's just, there's just so many ideas coming up, and I like to create, and that is what I get I get a lot out of it doing that, and I think also, it's good. And I think also for this idea, so the coloring book, and which is not a coloring book, but maybe there will be also, let's see, well, maybe it will be a coloring book. Maybe right now is color these, or organize this shelf or this shelf by color, and then maybe again a shelf, and on that shelf it's going to be again, I'll cut this part out, this again, like, and then yeah, they need to color it somehow. And there is a moral in the story. Something with, I don't know how to say this yet. It's like some people, because I want to do it about, yeah, it's not really about racism, it's more about the way people think right now about people with color, which doesn't tell anything about the country, because often when it's people from abroad, it's often not people from Europe, often not people from the Netherlands that ask me where are you from, because I speak with a clear accent from Nijmegen. They know, but it's often people who are from abroad, and then they come in your country and they're like, oh, where are you from, but you was always there. So it's more to point that, hey, wait a second, you cannot organize people by color. That's not the case. So I want to do a moral story about that. So what I think is, like, if people are starting to color themselves, they are more in the in that flow of, okay, wait a second, yeah, if they can organize the shelf, I can do it as well. And then I start coloring. And then I think after that, it's like a moral dilemma or something. Like, for example, there are some people that think they can organize people by data or color, but not maybe that direct, but maybe with a joke or something. So that's on this page. So some people organize everything by data, for example. Would you organize people? They do. And then here maybe a pop-up that it is not possible, something impossible. Like that everybody understands it's not possible to organize this because it's about human beings. So I have to think about something, and I will upload it when, when I made the second sketch of this book. So I will cut it out, not draw it exactly, but just a sketch of what it will look like. And yeah, if it sticks, or if I think that will work, or other people like it because of the views, or whatever happens, I will make the book for real. Okay, no time to waste, I gotta move the pace. Sorry baby, but I have no time to waste. The coloring book. Okay, so continuing with it. So what I made right now is what you saw, right? But I have to cut it out. So my sister bought it yesterday. Very happy with that store. Yes, it's from, I think, Asian people or something, but they have literally everything when it comes to creative stuff. So yeah, like that. Even kijken. Let's see. So I cut this out in a way that, you know, so I have been drawing this for not completely nothing. I'll cut this out. That's only the girl sticky. Okay, so let's do it. So I cut this part. So yeah, so this part, so it was like that. I'm cutting this part out. It's just a sketch, okay? It's not the end result. And then the here on the back there is the closet, and here I will be pulling out the closet in color. So okay, let me cut. Ta-da! Okay, so you see here the girl and then the closet. Yeah, so, but it was the closet of the second page, so I'm going to, but yeah, this could also be the page, of course. It's quite a bit, maybe it's a little bit too big, because I'm going to pull that closet out, the other colors, you know, the colors, the colored, the organized colors. Then you'll, yeah, talking is always so slow, you know, if I just go, yeah. Okay, so if you pull out, then the paper is quite wide, so it isn't strong enough probably to pull out, or it will be, I don't know the word in English, a little bit like, yeah, not strong, because it's not thick paper. So I think you can do big spaces with pop-it books, but then you need more thicker paper. This paper is like 110 grams or so, or even less. Yeah, 80 grams, so very thin. I think it's maybe as thin as printing paper. So what you're doing in your printer. So okay, let's take this part. This I haven't used this one yet, and so I can show what I mean. Let's do it. So I have been yeah, cutting it in half, the paper, and then it's going to be on the back of the book, and or the back of the shelf, as in this is becoming one shelf, and this is going up and down. So if I draw here a shelf, that is the organized shelf, the book closet, I mean. So with the colored, do I have color right now? I don't think I have color. Let's see. By the way, I have lipstick. So just to show you what the effect is. Okay, I took my lipstick, and this part is going to be colored. I just do a few, you know, stripes, so you know, okay, this is the colored bookshelf. And this will be here. So there needs to be another page that if I pull this up, you'll see, oh, wait a second, no, it's the other way around. First you need to see the other. Okay, I did it the other way around. This one needs to have 2 pages, and the colored bookshelf is on the back, and the non-colored bookshelf is on the front. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so this is an example, and I thought, well, I just leave that other bookshelf on the next page just there to show you what I mean with this page. So these are 3 pages. First we have the girl, then we have the bookshelf that is not organized yet on color, and then we have the bookshelf that is organized on color. So this one is going to be pulled in and out, and after she organized it, it's all on color. Okay? So let's cut this paper out in a way that it will be perfect to the purpose. Oh, wait a second. Okay, well, this is possible as well, but it's like, you know, like that. Or so the last bit also has to be cut out. And so it is like this. And like that. So non-organized, organized, right? Got it? So then a shelf comes with a toy, so it's practically the same idea when it comes to the pop-up. Still have to find a design, of course. And this shelf is going to be the shelf that people have to color themselves. So it will be the same idea, but there won't be color in it. They have to color it because it's the coloring book, okay? That's the idea behind it. Just made this up. And so then after it comes the part. Some people organize everything by data, for example, or maybe by, you know, by data. For example, they record your life by data, like personal information, and with camera. Would you organize people like they do? And then the picture comes on something that isn't organizable. So maybe it will be a picture of, could be, I thought about a family, and a family is of course a complete hierarchy. Something that has a system, or maybe something that doesn't have a system that you still cannot organize. Something that has a system that you can. Yeah, I think because skin color, of course, you know, that's what I wanted to, you know, you cannot, you know, the person has a darker color. Like as an artist, that's really weird to think. If you think in that, you know, in that, maybe as a soccer coach, it's also strange, you know, or as a, let's say, another profession, because of course on my other channel, HealingTarot.net, which now mirrors readings, mirrors tarot, I talk about empathy and perspective, and of course someone who has the occupation of an artist sees things very different and in their own personal way, because they each artist is so authentic till now. And fortunately, it's not communism in Europe yet, hopefully. But in any case, from each profession you can have a different perspective on something. So let's say tarot cards. You can see it as an artist. As an artist, you look at the pictures. What kind of style is this, for example? Maybe you are very much an artist that focuses on the technique. What kind of technique is used for this picture? But maybe someone that is in the printing industry, they're like, wow, this is good thick paper. You know, it's that's nice. Or someone that is in tech industry is like, I don't have any knowledge about this. Is this made with AI? Someone in another area would think something else about the cards, you know. So when you look at it from the profession, you have a different perspective on the same thing, because you have different knowledge about something. Right now online we're very much influenced by things that do not have our profession, or we're not, you know, skilled at it at all. Otherwise you would express that, right? People can see that you're doing that. But I think that is, what did I want to say again? I lost my story. So yeah, the different perspective on things. I forgot what I was in the first place talking about, but it has all it's all related to each other, what I tell. And of course, the last page here is about the book, the coloring book. It's about organizing by data and would you do it? And I wanted to make a picture about the topic, and it must be, I think it must be about picture. The first idea that comes to my mind is a picture. As an artist, I think that way. As personally, I make my art like that. So this is the way my brain works. When I make something like this, I could also turn it a completely different, different way. That's the whole thing about it. When I make art, I don't do it in one way. I challenge myself as an artist to think in different ways, different perspectives, and I also do different things. I make music since a young age. I make art, and already make for a very long time videos as well for customers I did. So a lot of different professions, but I did multimedia design, so altogether it's multimedia design and illustration, telling a story with pictures, in short. So yeah, this page is about organize everything by date. For example, they record everything. Would you organize people? Maybe it is about the cameras pointing on people's houses, for example. What would they organize? I think that's a good question to ask. Of course, I've also had web shops, so I know that there is also software that, for example, is sending out marketing emails based upon data of people. So I have been, trying out those software, and what they do is they, for example, people who are interested in who bought the product, that is one category. Then there's maybe that you could make that a category because those people maybe buy another time, or that's the idea of the website owner. Or people who show interest in a certain topic, and because of course in Europe we have GDPR, it goes a little bit technical, but the privacy law. And so maybe it's better in the web shop, for example, to ask people, you have to. It's not allowed to do it another way, but I know it's a mess online. So asking the people, are you interested in getting a newsletter about a specific product that they like? If they say yes, they will get into the category, the data of people who would like to know more about a certain product. So that's how they organize. So with making art, you also need to do a little research. You need to find out what are they talking about, and that's not very small. So there are artists that are very specialized in a certain, so not only in art, but also in another topic. And you really need to find out what their perspective is, but you can only understand when they make a lot of art, if they expose their art everywhere that you can see it, or they have it online that you can find it. And maybe for other artists it's different. Maybe they have not art like that you can see it. Maybe it's invisible, or maybe it's, influence, I think, is also an interesting topic. And maybe you can see it, or maybe they do it in other ways. It depends on what kind of type of artist you are, or type of person you are. Not the type of artist, because it's all, I think, more related to fine arts. So yeah, it's less categorizing as artist. When you're an artist, you're an artist. Yeah, so I think that is the idea behind data. But of course, I need to know more about it. That's what I know. I know that they sell that data. I know now, because I have a YouTube channel, what the effect of it is. And so I will, think of more ideas how do they use data more. They use it for marketing emails to send commercial purposes that people like. They want more information about it. They might want to buy it. They might want to have discounts on the product. But there's also data being sold to other companies. What do they use it for? I know there are, of course, very shady, from the past, organizations like secret police and things like that. That's not okay. Like in the Second World War, they use the data probably for other purposes. I think it's more about why are they doing it? Separating people and things like that is a sersetsu, right? So they don't do directly physical harm, but they do it psychologically. So you could use the data for leadership, to play with people like Barbies. So, and everybody can do that. That's the whole problem of it. So I don't know why it's legal, because you see that some people, maybe they were never famous, but they can generate with AI things like looking like that, and it is allowed. There's no rules for it. It's all happening so fast, all these developments, if you can call it developments. I would say it's early, it's more the destruction of things, as you can see in the world, like people don't have the right information anymore, because the Veruca salts is what I call them, from Roald Dahl, are pushing through what they want, but are not taking in consideration how it will work out for people's lives. Probably those software companies, maybe they didn't know before because they thought it wouldn't be as successful as this right now, but I don't think so. More and more I think, but maybe they didn't relate it to things that already happened in the past. And if you look at the past, you see what effect it has on human beings. That's also part of being an artist, it's not only creating, it's often, it has a thought behind it. And sometimes you can be stuck in that, and then they're like the tech, from a tech perspective, you don't need to have a writer's block. We solve it for you. But the whole point of it is, when you're solving it yourself, you're developing yourself in that way. So you're being stopped actually by someone else doing it for you. I mean, that's why you start walking as a baby, as a young child, because you want to do it yourself. You want to walk yourself because once you know how to do it, you can do it all your life. And artists sometimes about philosophy as well. But there's also artists who are just start doing it. They are having more, they're more doing. So, but they had to start somewhere, so there's always thought involved. I think this is the most difficult page right now, because this is what the motto of the book is about. Because here I want to switch from that page of organize the shelf or organize the closet yourself, and then they have to color it, and then wow, I can organize it myself. And then after that they get the thinking part, so that's also what they need to think about. So as an artist, as the writer of the book was also writing, you also have to think about it, like the plot. Or how do you say that? It's a movie, right? So what is this? The data that's being organized. So I just thought they sell the data. Maybe I could make a picture, I write it down. Selling data could be, so maybe a pop-up that it goes from one place to another. Maybe it doesn't have to be something serious, it could also be joke, but does it fit with this? Does a joke fit? If you're looking at the platforms, it's not so well thought through, how they're organizing all that information and how it comes across to people. On television in the past, they did every little thing. In the 50s, when in the era where there was a lot of commercials became something very appealing, with drawings and fashion, and was after the World War very precise also, but maybe it was because of that war. Very precise, like how are we going to bring this across, and how will it affect people and things like that. But you don't need to do human experience for that. You can, when you listen and you use your senses, you can get already enough information. Unless you're not having that, then maybe you need to do bad stuff, hurting people. But my experience in this lifetime, there's enough information you get by just listening, observing, And that's what an artist does. And maybe also that's why, you know, Hitler never should have been rejected from the art academy. That's maybe just what he was, an artist. And artists are not necessarily good politicians. We don't have anything with politicians, maybe. Or maybe artists, some artists do. Like, for example, Jonathan, what's his name again? He was born in Japan and he lived in Germany. Like, what he's doing with his art is, it's a lot about politics, or just not about politics, because he liked to play with it. He like, everything is a toy for him, is what I remember from his video. Everything is a toy. So he is playing with things, and that's his thing as an artist, playing. Even with Hitler and other things, you know, he's playing with it. He's not seeing it as important. It's just a toy for him. So yeah, as I would do it, for me it is indeed also, the pop-up book is of course something to play with as well. It is something, but yeah, you know, artists create, you don't always have to think a lot about it, but because I want to tell a story with it, and I did illustration, I automatically, for some reason, with what I do, not all illustrators do that, is what I do, I want to tell a story. I'm also at the same time the writer. So there's no writer who wrote right now a book or a column or in a magazine or newspaper or whatever, or, you know, or give me an assignment. I just do that from my own idea. And there's again noises outside, but that's probably a real bird, but that's a weird time. And no, okay, whatever. So in any case, the yeah, idea also, you know, it's also who you are as an artist and what you're focusing on and how you're making things. But this is in a way also a toy, but it seems a toy in the first place, and then it's getting more serious. It's getting more serious about something. Like, do it yourself, and then like, hey, wait a second, can you do that with everything? Like, do you know, like, there are, you know, data collected about you, and would you sell it? Would you do this? But does it, maybe, you know, does it need to be necessarily something bad, or can it also be something fun or something good? That's something I have to think about. And let us rest for a moment, and then I'll come back to it.